All right, what's up, guys? Anthony here, Special Analysis. Welcome to the video. I'm going to talk you through my thought process on Friday trading crude. So, made some fresh highs here, almost pushed to $81. I'm going to talk about kind of my thoughts as this all transpired. So, what you're looking at here is simplicity, right? Like that's what I don't put a lot of shit on my charts. I think that it overcrowds things, makes it really kind of hard to kind of see what's going on. I do obviously have other screens, but you can see I got a 1 hour chart up here in the top left. I got a 15-minute down here in the bottom left. Just running some very basic trend lines, just giving me some idea of direction, things of that nature. One EMA, the 21 EMA on both of these charts, just looking to see is price within them, above them, below them, keeping it, again, super simple. On my 1 minute chart here, I have a session fixed VWAP. I have a rolling VWAP. Those are the two lines you see, and the horizontal lines that you see running across the screen are composed of pivots, right? Daily pivots, weekly pivots, so on and so forth. Prior highs, lows, opens, closes, stuff like that. So I really want to focus in on just a few things, and that's the volume and the price action. So let me walk you through some of the things that I saw kind of on Friday that caught my attention. So early in the morning here, we tested these two staggered pivots. Believe it or not, there was quite a bit of buying happening right in this level, and you could see that there was a lot of absorption, right? Like, so what happened here? Buyers kept banging, 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 and there was somebody soaking up all those orders. So with that transpiring, this ultimately fell back. Now you can play this a couple ways. You can just short the visible failure if you want. This does play the lowest risk, right? Because you would be entering short here into this supply area that the buyers can't get through. Basically, just dropping your stop right on top there and then pulling profits, obviously, as we fall. Or you could wait for, a counter trend line. You can see it broke very aggressively, came back, retested what was previously support, now resistance, kind of rolls over. Now, keep in mind, the market is grinding higher. So, this is definitely kind of fighting the trend. All right. It is what it is. If you're comfortable taking very short term trades, you're looking to just capitalize on the short, quick move. There was obvious absorption here that was denying the buyers from going any higher. So, kind of a nice little setup. Again, more aggressively, you could try to shorted this area itself, or waited for a counter trend line and then kind of taken the play there. 9 a.m. open for the crude market on the eastern seaboard here. Make this really aggressive pop up here. Super heavy selling, up in this area here, and we really could not get any advancement. So again, the open's very, very volatile. Kind of sit out for that. I don't normally partake in the open. Let the market do what it's going to do. You can see it rejects it really hard, but comes back and perfectly retests this area where, it was just supply there, right? Phenomenal push back to the downside. Could have played this a few ways. Could have put in, could have just shorted the area here, which is, of course, the more aggressive, but, going to put the tighter stop in. Could have waited for a pullback here. But we fell quickly into consolidation before we dipped. We actually retested this little area here and then fell again. So a couple different ways it could have been played. This is kind of range bound, so it does make it a little bit difficult. But you could see on this very particular candle that there was kind of obvious reversal happening. So, the better place, in my opinion, was to say, all right, we pop up here, we struggle to go higher. We pop up here, second time, we struggle to go higher. Trying to get short somewhere in this vicinity, dropping that stop right on top there. Not a bad idea. Once you witness this, right, you have to witness failure. Whether you're witnessing it on a level 2, whether you're witnessing it on the tape, whether you're witnessing it on order flow, whether you're just witnessing it on pure price action, like you want to witness, you want to witness some form of failure there. And then ultimately we did kind of fall over, kind of choppy here, banging back and forth and whatnot. This, I didn't dislike this kind of level here. It came a little short of testing the VWAP, but what I did like was the price action, right? We just really put in this, come on. Like we started with this really slight kind of ascending lows here, some descending highs here, really just super tight price action, kind of put in a reversal and ultimately started the process of grinding higher. Safer bet, obviously, let that trend kind of confirm itself, get above these double pivots that didn't look so great, right? Before we had trouble here. Now, this little setup is above this prior failure area. So that was super important to get above this area because there was high, rejection here. So, this is really tight. This is just 3 little candles, put in some support, a little bit of pullback. We break it and we just don't look back. We grind right higher here into this next level. So, whether you wanted to try to, kind of buy down here in weakness, really when the market's trending, you want to, in my opinion, unless we got to pull back into some form of support, I don't necessarily know that that was the spot, but even if you bought it here, you had a 25, 26 tick opportunity with about 11 or 12 tick risk. So fairly minimal, 2 to 1, not a bad little setup here. Market pops up, we get, obviously, this is kind of a high here, 80 half roughly. We fall back down immediately. Then we start to fall into some consolidation here late morning. There was obvious rejection here. So in order to consider buying, we wanted to get above the rejection and obviously above these prior candles here. And that's kind of what we fell into. The market popped up again, put in some support, very tight pullback, and then really just took this grind higher into the next pivot. So, just big picture here, like we were in a real trend. So very strong impulse correction, consolidation, another impulse correction. Some heavy selling happened here. Buyers absorbed it. And what I was really looking for here was, what does price look like when it retests this level, right? Like this is, at the time, this is the high of the day. We get huge rejection here, and we got a ton of liquidity sitting above, right? So whoever got short here probably had their stop sitting right here, 80, 80, 80, 82, 85, something like that. There was tons of liquidity here. So I watched price fall, and when it came back up, I was very cautiously watching this area to look for absorption of that liquidity overhead, and that's what happened. And guys, when this happened, we took a perfect, kind of correction here, perfect pullback. This huge selling came in across the tape, 80.75, 80.76, 80, all the way down here into 80.67. Like heavy selling, big orders came in across the tape here. And when that happened, the market just tumbled. Yep, this was the pullback for the top. Had you sat that out, kind of could have, looked here for a little pullback as well. You could see we could just kind of consolidated and whatnot. But it really sold off nicely, hesitated here at the pivot. You could see we didn't really even take a correction. We just kind of, again, sat there for a minute, took a very faint pullback. Just held that, came down, and then just kept selling really nicely. Then we got a lot of support that came back in at these double pivots that we watched earlier. So I was watching this area super closely because we got this pop up, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. Lot of rejection here, right? The selling got absorbed, so the buyers stepped back in. So I was looking to buy here, right? And guys, I'm going to tell you the truth. Fucked up on this one, right? I was simply waiting to see rejection. And my phone rang. And I got distracted. And I hit the buy button. Not paying attention, I didn't quickly enough adjust my stop. And I got stopped out. And the market did exactly what I anticipated it to do, which was rally from this area based on the absorption that I saw a little bit earlier. Right? It happens. We're all human. And I'll own it. Like I was a buyer right here, and I hit the buy button, and I just saw price kind of come in here and just stumble a little bit, and the phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and I didn't want to miss the move. I hit the buy button, and I populate a stop automatically, just so that it's always there. God forbid the market turns against me quickly, and I didn't get a chance to pull it down, or better yet, really my fault was I didn't wait to see this play out. I was just afraid of not missing the move, and I hit the button prematurely because I got distracted by the phone, and I got stopped out. And at that point, I was really frustrated with myself, so I didn't even attempt to try to recover this because I just knew that I made this total fuck up. And it was what it was, right? I mean, I had a great read on the market. I was anticipating, the price to bounce from this level here based on the absorption that I saw a little bit earlier. And had I just not been distracted, it wouldn't have cost me. So here nor there, I got to own it, right? Like I'm here to tell you guys about my failures so that you are able to learn from them yourself. Like if you're distracted, even for a split second, don't hit the button. And I know that, and I know better than that because I've done it in the past, but I did it, and I'll own it. I fucked up, and I paid for it. But either way, market pushed back higher as I was anticipating, looked really great. Came up here, fell into a little bit of consolidation, had some trouble getting through 80.27. Also saw some absorption up here, not necessarily at a key level. And I really look for these absorption levels at key levels, meaning pivots, trend lines, channel structures, whatever. Prior day, high, low, open, close, the daily open, close, or high, low, whatever. I don't necessarily just kind of look for them randomly. I did identify this, and it did sell off. I didn't take the trade. Only because it wasn't kind of somewhere around a pivot or leaving an area aggressively. But it did in fact work out kind of really well. And it was really, it was just high probable. I saw it and I didn't take it. Same thing here. I saw it. I didn't take it only because it wasn't around an area that I was anticipating a rotation. So that kind of fell off. And then we fell kind of into the close here and things went sideways and whatnot. So those are the things that I saw on Friday as I sat here, trading. So these dashes are areas of, high buying or selling. And, you can see we had, high volume here that pushed us down. This was the nice retracement. I like this. This I liked only because it was breaking this prior high, right? Like we were getting through this liquidity, we pushed through. I want there to be a reason when I look left to consider taking a trade. So I liked a lot of price action today, or Friday, I should say. In fact, I even liked this, but I was so frustrated with myself for missing this, and as this ripped higher, I was pissed, guys. I won't lie to you. Like I was really mad at myself because I totally blew this. Right? Had a great read on the market all day. Had a great read on this. I was just distracted. So I hope this is a lesson you all can learn from. When you're distracted, just don't take the trade. Right? There'll always be another trade. Here I am trying to go on the weekend on fire, and I listen, it didn't blow up my day or blow up my account, but it was just pissed me off because I know better. But again, I do these videos to help you guys get through the hurdles that I suffer on a regular basis. Hurdles I've overcome, hurdles I still encounter. I'm not perfect by any means. And this is a perfect example of how I'm not perfect, right? Like I sucked. Right? I made a huge mistake here. And this thing literally, this probably pisses me off more than all the other success that I had good reads on because I just knew better. And look at this. I mean, it literally for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, for 5 straight minutes, this thing would have just paid me more and more and more and more. And if you notice, we fell into kind of this little supply area, right? Like this is what we fell into. And this is where all that kind of absorption transpired, and then we started falling back from it. So notice we consolidated here on the way down. That's what we fell right back into. And I mean, I was so frustrated with this, I didn't even have any consideration for that because I was just mad at myself, to be honest with you. So that's kind of the read I had on the market. I just wanted to kind of share it with you guys, let you know how I look at things, what I'm looking for. I'm looking for failure areas and then, retests of those failure areas. I'm looking for, follow through when we've, you can see we failed here, we got above here. I'm looking for that follow through to the next pivot. This area here, obvious rejection, suffered more rejection, got above this, and ultimately pushed through these highs and took on market higher. And then really the high of the day was called by this area of absorption, right? Like, so all the buyers here were absorbed by the sellers. There was no way to go higher. There was liquidity sitting right above this, meaning people took shorts here. They were like, oh, the high of the day's in. Let's take a short here. And they popped their stops right here. Well, guess what happened? The market came back and hunted those stops. Why does the market hunt stops? Liquidity to the market is like oxygen to a fire. So for me, what do I want to look for? Right? I don't want to take this trade. I want to take the trade above it. I want to take the trade when where the liquidity is. Right? Because the market's going to gravitate towards that liquidity. Either it's going to get so violently pushed down or it's going to gravitate back and consume that oxygen because that's what it needs. So I see the market take this super strong pullback into this area here. What am I looking for? I am looking for that liquidity to get consumed and then price to fail. And that's what happened. When I saw that heavy selling come across the tape right here from 75 down to 67, I was like, that's it. We're done. The high of the day is in. And we absolutely plummeted in a super short period of time. All right, like this didn't take long. High of the day is placed right here, and we sell all the way back down to those double pivots, 100 ticks in 42 minutes. 100 ticks. I mean, straight down. Boom. So, you can see it here on the hourly chart, just straight down. So, again, food for thought, just kind of walking you guys through my thought process, walking you through my fuck ups for the day because, I make them and it sucks and I do my best to learn from them, but my goal is to help you learn from them. So if you're enjoying this content, please, I ask you to subscribe to the channel. I ask you to like this video. It helps me reach more retail traders so that I can share with them my hurdles so they can hopefully become more successful, with less heartache than I've had to suffer myself. So hope you guys are all well. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to speaking with you. If you drop a comment down below, I'll be sure to respond to it. And I'll see you in the next video. God bless, and we'll talk soon.